We are still on a journey through the people of the right hand. And today we are going to have a look at what Allah Jalla wa Ala subhanahu wa ta'ala has preserved for them. We are also going to shed a light on what the people will answer when the people of the right hand ask the people of the left. And when the people of Jannah ask the people of Nar, what made you end up in hellfire? What is their answer? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said at the end of a long dua, he said, وَجَعَلِ الْقُرْآنَ رَبِيعَ قَلْبِي وَنُورَ صَدْرِي. And he turned the Qur'an into the spring of my heart. What does that even mean? The spring of your heart? It means that the Qur'an is that which makes you intrinsically happy, that you are no longer in need of anybody else but Allah Jalla wa Ala subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Qur'an. Until we reach the point where I do not exaggerate when I say that the majority of Muslims no longer understand the Qur'an in Arabic. And even the Arabs, a lot of them do not understand the details of that Arabic language. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Abshiru. Yani abshiru, be happy, because this is the Qur'an, hablullahi mateen. This is the Qur'an, the strong cord, the rope of Allah, your lifeline. Yani tarafuhu biyadillahi wa tarafun biaydikum. Yani he said, one part of it is in the hand of Allah and the other part is in your hand. Yani when the people of the right hand now are in Jannah, they will ask the mujrimeen, yani those who went to hellfire, مَا سَلَكَكُمْ فِي سَقَرٍ. Yani what is the reason that you ended up in Saqar? And there are many, many layers and levels in hell. Yani hell is so deep. Prophet ﷺ asked his companions, did you hear this? And it was a strong sound, it was very noisy. And they said, what is it, Ya Rasulullah? He said, it is a stone that has been thrown into the depths of hell, that has been falling for 70 years. If you are a Muslim, then this is what you believe, then why don't we strive forward to protecting ourselves against hell and to enter into the Gardens of Eden? That should be our mission, that should be our concern, that should be our worry, because we are all worrying about what the world will look like in 20 years, but the problem is that we may not even live until tomorrow. Ashabul Yameen fi jannatin yatasa'aluna 'anil mujrimin. Yani they ask each other about the mujrimeen. Yani this is one of the things they will be asking. Do you know why? Because the majority of people of Ahl Yameen, the majority of people of paradise were the oppressed. Jannah is their liberty. Jannah is their freedom. Jannah is their happiness. Jannah brings an end to their misery. But they have to work for it. مَا سَلَكَكُمْ فِي سَقَرٍ. Yani what made you end up? Ask the people of Jannah, the people of Nar, what made you end up in Jahannam? Their first answer is, we did not used to pray. And al-musalli, yani with the alif lam, means somebody that holds on to prayer, prays on time, holds on to requisites and conditions of prayer, tries to pray it with a present heart and with all, in the light of knowledge. How many people today are sure of their wudu? You can say, I'm sure about my wudu. Do you know that in the books of fiqh, many pages are about wudu? That what invalidates your wudu, that what requires wudu. So even wudu and prayer, because we just think. But the problem is when you come back to Allah Jalla wa Ala, it is not about you thought it to be. Allah will judge you in light of how He wanted it to be. That's a very big difference. You can't come to Allah Jalla wa Ala and say, I thought my wudu was okay because I've been doing it for all my life. You have to revisit your knowledge. Don't carry on with worshipping Allah Jalla wa Ala without asking yourself whether you have been taught how to pray. Not just by parents in general, but in the light of knowledge that you sat at the feet of scholars or their students. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُعْبَدُ عَلَى بِسَاطِ الْعِلْمِ وَلَا يُعْبَدُ عَلَى بِسَاطِ الْجَهْلِ. Because Allah is not worshipped on the carpet of ignorance, but rather He is worshipped and venerated on the carpet of knowledge. And we used not to feed the poor. وَكُنَّا نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِضِينَ. And we used to talk nonsense with those who talk nonsense. Yani day and night we're talking about things we have no knowledge of. Day and night we keep on passing on what we read on the internet, and we just pass it on without verifying it. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, he who passes on everything he hears will end up being a liar like the one who spoke the lie for the first time. إِنَّ الظَّنَّ لَا يُغْنِي مِنَ الْحَقِّ شَيْئًا, says Allah Jalla wa'ala. Yani the suspicions and thinking and I think, is of no benefit whatsoever on the path towards the truth. That's not for the Muslim. He doesn't indulge in suspicion. He doesn't indulge in those things. Not meaning that he's not a man or a woman of the world, but he chooses his sources correctly. Do you know that some of the Salaf, he was seen not, meaning the predecessors, he was seen not to speak very often. They say, why don't you speak that much? He said, well, because before I speak, I ask myself the question, if Allah were to ask me why I said it, that I could justify it. How many words have left our mouth that we can never retrieve again from the universe? This is the mouth you read Quran with. And the mouth has a connection to the heart. So if you now fill that mouth with filth, with gossip and complaining and whatever it may be, then that connection will no longer be made. Then the Quran stays here and it doesn't go there. And that was the sifah of the Khawarij. And the Khawarij, those people who declared Muslims to be kuffar because of a dhanb, because of a sin, the Prophet ﷺ said, and their recital of the Quran doesn't pass their throats, it can't go to their heart, because their mouths are, that's no longer the words of the Prophet ﷺ, because their hearts and their mouths were filthy. The people of Jannah want to know, why did you end up in hell? So many books were sent. So many books were revealed. So many prophets were sent. So many people were still in argument. Even towards the end of times, we still had people practicing the deen. So what made you forget Rabb al-Alameen? You want to strengthen your faith? Work on your prayer. You want to strengthen your faith? Work on helping others and forget a bit about yourself. You want to strengthen your faith? Don't talk nonsense. وَلَا تَقُولُوا إِلَّا حَقًّا. And speak nothing but the truth, even if the truth is against you. Al-Izz bin Abdul Salam, rahmatullahi alayhi, he said, that which is against you in the dunya, but is in your favor in the akhirah, is something that you should seek. I want to be on Sirat al-Mustaqim, because the better you walk on Sirat al-Mustaqim, Habibi, the better you will walk over the bridge Yawm al-Qiyamah. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said in Madarij al-Salikin, the more you walk on the straight path here, the better and firmer you will be when you walk over a bridge that is as sharp as a sword and as thin as a hair. أضحك سنك طول الأمل ولم يبكي عينك قرب الأجل كأنك لم تر حيا يساق ولم تر حيا على مغتسل.